Adonenu, Mureno, ורבינו, המשיח, לעולם. Welcome to the summary of the Kuntas of Malchus, and Torah Shabbal Peh. The Rebbe Moshiach Shlit starts off. The Rambam and the Gedama writes that Hashem that gave to Moshe a Torah mitzvah. Torah goes on the written Torah, Torah Shabbat, and Torah Shabbal Peh goes in the Orel Torah. It was given out by heart. Rebbe Moshiach Shlit says the Rambam writes that what's unique is about the Rambam gathers together all the Torah Shabbal, all Orel Torah. Therefore, someone could just read the Torah Shabbal and learn the Rambam, whole sefer Rambam. Through that, know the entire Torah Kula, know all the entire Torah, know exactly what to do. And even though the Rambam himself is Torah Shabbal, nevertheless, the uniqueness of the Rambam. What's unique about the Rambam? The Rambam writes halachas. He writes laws, which are laws are everlasting, just like the Shabbos. It says that the chol and all the svardim, all the vim and ksuvim, everything will be nullified in the Geula. However, Torah Shabbos and halachas will last forever. We can say this is the reason why the Rambam, what does he finish off his book of laws? The last thing he writes about the laws of Mashiach. Why? Because he's saying when will be expressed the uniqueness of his book, which are laws in the times of Mashiach. In the time of Mashiach, all the other Torah will be nullified. And the Rebbe Moshiach asks, we say that Torah is everlasting is not understood. Similarly, we know that in the time of the Geula, all the laws that we ruled in the time of Galus, like Beis Hillel, we will change the law, rule like Beis Shammai. According to this, many laws like Beis Hillel will be nullified because the law will be like Beis Shammai. And more than this, the Gemara says that you're allowed to bury somebody with kilayim, even though he'll wake up in time of redemption, by the resurrection of the dead. You wear a kilayim, it's not a problem. Why? Because mitzvahs will be nullified. If mitzvahs are nullified, how can we say the laws are everlasting? So Rebbe Moshiach explains that seemingly, how in generally could we say that Torah mitzvahs will be nullified if we know that Torah is everlasting? Now we can say that this that Chazal tell us, the Torah is everlasting, is only during the time of Galus. Then afterwards, we're not talking about that time. Because the whole reason why we say that Torah is everlasting, because Torah is Hashem's will. It's like Hashem's will is everlasting, so Torah is everlasting. So if Torah is everlasting, like Hashem's will, or that is applicable also in time of Mashiach and every time, how could we say that mitzvahs will be nullified? So understand this based on what the Gemara says. The Gemara says that a garment that lost kilayim inside of him, allowed to bury him, a dead person. Says Rabbi Yosef, we will learn that mitzvahs about him. Says Rabbi Yechanan, they're allowed not only address him before you bury him, but after the burial. Why? Because it says in the verse. What does the verse say? That people are free. Somebody passes away, he is free from doing a mitzvah. Therefore, allowed to bury him. The Rebbe Moshiach Shlit asks, one second. The question is not if while he's dead and during the time of exile could he wear kilayim, because it's obvious. The question is regarding when he wakes up. So why does Rebbe explain that why is he allowed to in the future wake up with kilayim? Because in time of Galus, when he's dead, he doesn't have mitzvah of kilayim. Similarly, Rebbe's explanation is not relevant to the time we're talking about. Is the Geula when he wakes up. Rebbe tells us when he's dead, he doesn't have a mitzvah. And more than that, how can Rebbe say that mitzvahs will be nullified? Rebbe says that the proof or the resurrection of the dead is that it says that we will give teruma to Aaron a kohen. Teruma is you give him produce that grew in Eretz Yisrael, grew in Israel, and Aaron didn't go into Eretz Yisrael. Here Rebbe says, that means Aaron will wake up from the dead, and he will give him teruma. So if Rebbe holds that there will be the mitzvah of teruma in the Geula, how could he say the mitzvah will be nullified? So Rebbe Moshiach Shlit explains that what did Rebbe Yechanan say? Rebbe Yechanan said when someone passes away, he is not obligated to fulfill the mitzvah. However, the mitzvah still exists. So regarding to this person that is now dead, doesn't have a mitzvah. And that is explanation regarding the Geula. In time, in the future, the mitzvah will be nullified. It doesn't mean that the existence of mitzvah will be nullified. No. It means that regarding to us, we will not have obligation. But the idea of the mitzvah will exist. And why? Because in the future, in the Gula, will reveal that the Yidden and Hashem are one entity. Secondly, one entity, it's not relevant, the expression of command. I can't command myself. I can command a different existence. Therefore, in time of the Gula, will be revealed that the Hashem and the Yidden are one. Therefore, there will be no more mitzvah, no more commandment. And therefore, this Rabbi Yochanan says that you're allowed to wear kilayim. Why? Because you won't have the commandment. However, the existence of the commandment will be in the future. And this is the difference between halachos of Torah, laws of Torah. Talking about idea, law is everlasting. The law is everlasting. However, the mitzvah, the command to a person will be nullified. Why? Because second, the world and Hashem and Yidden are one. There's no more command. There's no more commanding it as separate entity. And this is the idea. This is also known according to what Chazal tell us regarding haliches elam loi. Al tikaliches ala halachas. Don't call only haliches, the ways, halicha going, the ways. Ever halachas. Why? Haliches elam loi, going in the ways of the world. It's not everlasting. There'll be a time at the Torah which is telling you to go in the world will stop. However, al tikaliches ala halachas of Torah, the way they are for themselves, will be everlasting. And according to this, we can understand. So regarding the idea of Bisham Besil. We asked that the Bashama and Basil laws will change, comes out and be everlasting. So Rebbe Malchus Moshiach Shlit explains, no, the Rizal brings in times of the Geula, we will rule halacha not like Beis Hillel, rather like Beis Shammai. Right? That's the Rizal writes. He writes like Beis Shammai. Rebbe Malchus Moshiach says, but how could it be that after all the years of behaving like Beis Hillel, we will nullify this law? And also, if we change to Beis Shammai, we still have laws being nullified. So Rebbe Malchus Moshiach says that in the second kufa, not in the beginning of Mashiach's times, or the resurrection of the dead, we'll fulfill the law just like Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel together. And why? What's the difference in Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel? These are more lenient, these are more strict. They come to when the Torah comes down to the level of the world. So the Torah meets the world, the Torah can be more light on the world, it can be more strict in the world. And we're tired of the ways that Hashem's will, higher than the world. Everything is one. This is what Hashem wants. No difference between right or left. And that's the difference. In time of the Galus, and also in the beginning of Mashiach's times, we'll have the level of Torah, how the Torah is coming down to the world. So you can't have two opinions, only like this way or like that way. And therefore, in the time of Galus, we do like Beis Hillel, and Beis Shammai is only spiritually. Time of Mashiach, we'll actually act like Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel will be spiritual. However, in the second kufa of Mashiach, in time of the resurrection of the dead, then we'll do both together because we reveal Hashem's essence. Hashem's essence is higher than the world. Therefore, there's no contradiction between Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel. And according to this, we can explain something unique. In the last perek of the Rambam, 12th perek of Hilchos Malachim, Melech Nisayim, Umelech Mashiach, Rambam in the first three halachas explains what Mashiach will come. What happened when Mashiach will come? Be a Navi. The world won't have any miracles. It will stay natural. The Mashiach will tell each person what shevet they come from, etc. Then the fourth halacha Rambam writes, what's the reason why the Chamim and the Vim, they all desire Mr. Mashiach? It's learn Torah. Okay. Then Rambam writes another, learn Torah, do mitzvahs to get Elam. That's the reason why the Chamim waiting for Mr. Mashiach. That's in the fourth halacha. Fifth halacha continues. In that time, there will be no war, no hunger, etc. in the whole world, and every Jewish people will be involved knowing the knowledge of Hashem. The idea is, this is the Rambam in the end of the fourth halacha writes that there will be a purpose of fulfilling all the Torah mitzvahs is to get Elam Haba. That shows on the completion of a mitzvah how a person has his own entity. A person has his own entity, and Mashiach's time was to be able to complete all the mitzvahs to get to get more schar. However, after halacha daled, in the last halacha, doesn't write a purpose. Why? Because they were talking about the time as Mashiach when we nullify the differences between humans and Hashem and the world is one. Therefore, there's no reason. Rather, this itself that we're doing Torah mitzvahs, that itself is the purpose. And according to this, we can understand that Rambam, it comes out in the last halacha, hints about the second tkufa, the second period of time of Mashiach, time of the Tchias HaMesim, the resurrection of the dead. That's in the last halacha. The Rambam doesn't write it in a clear way. This is talking about the second tkufa, because Bechal, the Rambam didn't write about the later times of Mashiach, because the Rambam's book is not here tells of Mashiach, he's here about telling halachas of Torah and mitzvahs. However, in the last halacha, the Rambam is hinting us regarding the second tkufa of your Mashiach. Shemer take it from me right now to have the great revelation of the Rebbe King Moshiach Shlit, and altogether we will announce Yechi, Adonenu, Moreno, ורבינו, Melech HaMashiach, לעולם.